and you're watching Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Subhajon Klinswan. Only a few months away from the upcoming rainy season. Today, the cabinet meeting approved a single command approach towards handling this year's potential floods. Under this plan, the Prime Minister will hold the highest level of authority in the matter. A National Water and Natural Resources Management Committee will now become the new Center for Water Resources Management, according to today's cabinet meeting. In this hierarchy, the PM will also hold the ultimate power in directing all sectors concerned with water management. Last year's flood saw the government become a paper tiger as some provincial and local administrative bodies refused to comply with the government's orders. Next week, the Prime Minister will also lead concerned agencies on a visit to various areas along rivers and water basins to plan a holistic water defensive plan, while also creating understanding with locals whose farmlands may become natural reservoirs for this flood season. The government will also work out a flood compensation manual to be used as a benchmark for compensating flood victims. Meanwhile, the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration will split the tasks of clearing canals to open up waterways with the Army to avoid any work duplication. The BMA will fork out 770 million baht to support the Army in this task, which could start as early as late this month. Meanwhile, this Friday, we'll see the Flood Relief Operations Center, or the FROC, host a thank you party for all concerned agencies who helped manage last year's floods. Head of the Privy Council, General Prem Tinasulanont, has confirmed that he will preside over the event. The Energy Ministry told international petroleum players that Thailand is willing to seek collaboration in searching for new sources of energy. At the 2011 International Petroleum Technology Conference, Arak Cholatanont, Energy Minister, told the international community that Thailand uses 9.9 million barrels of crude oil daily. 56% are imported, which is why the country seeks to find more sources of energy. New technology in research and exploration and collaboration with international partners will likely help Thailand find more sources of energy. However, with global warming an international issue, the Thai government is also going along the trend.
The Ministry of Energy has been promoting sustainable development of petroleum together with environmental stewardship through the Green Development Mechanism, or CDM, designated to promote energy conservation and emission reduction of greenhouse gases. About 157 projects with greenhouse gas reduction capability, approximately 9.47 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year, has been approved by designated National Authority of Thailand.
Meanwhile, a group of taxi drivers are to sue the Prime Minister and the Cabinet in the administrative courts next week over mismanagement of the NGV and LPG price float. A group working for taxi drivers' rights protection told Thai PBS that they are preparing to lodge a charge against Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, the Minister of Energy, the Minister of Transportation and the Cabinet next week after the January 16 NGV price float. Sombun Janya, representative of this group of taxi drivers, pointed out that the Prime Minister and ministers have failed in managing energy policy by floating NGV and LPG prices, causing increased expenses for taxi operators and consumers. He also said that if the government has solved energy problems correctly, there would not be any need to give energy cards to taxi drivers. This reflects the government's lack of effective management and planning. The Taxi Drivers' Right Protection Group said that the PM and the Cabinet created an advantage by ordering the Ministry of Transportation to issue the rule that all taxi drivers had to change to NGV. Sombun said this rule is not transparent since the Department of Land Transport's conditions state that car owners who want to change their fuel system to NGV have to take their cars for a checkup with the private companies, and this will cost 400 baht a year. NGV's price float has been widely criticized, especially of the actual cost of natural gas. Dr. Rumtip Chotnapalai talked to Hun Sari Ong Somwang from the Foundation for Consumers. Here's more.
We would like to see the actual cost of the natural gas, and also we already done some examinations of the cost of the natural gas, and we found that it's double price because it includes profit already, because the started price was the price that the PTTs sell to the EGAT with already added benefit. And then when it starts with the wrong price, it make the consumer price it means it make the consumer price higher than normal, and then it's double than the one that we expect.
Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamrung agrees with the military's top brass comments that lèse majesté laws must not be touched. However, the newly appointed minister and former red shirt leader says blocking the freedom of expression might lead to more pressure within the society. Natawut Saikia Deputy Agriculture Minister and a core leader of the Red Shirts movement, says that state officials are observing the controversial move of those seeking amendment of the lèse majesté law. He says as long as no one is violating the law, freedom of expression should be allowed. Otherwise, it might cause more pressure to develop within the society. Yet, Deputy Prime Minister Chalerm Yubamrung says he agrees with the commanders who say Article 112 or the lèse majesté law must not be touched to maintain peace in society. A group of people referring to themselves as Niti Rat, most of whom are law lecturers at Thammasat University, see Article 112 of the Criminal Code as in need of amendment, while many royalists, especially in the armed forces, see this as a direct threat to the royal institution. Meanwhile, Somkit Lertpaitun, rector of Thammasat University, who earlier said that campaigning for the amendment of Article 112 is off limits on Thammasat campus, says Thammasat will now hold a vote among students and university executives to see if the majority of the voters are for or against the controversial move, which will allow those who seek amendment of lèse majesté laws to meet on Thammasat grounds. With the controversial issue of amending the lèse majesté laws becoming the center of a social argument, a professor of political science from Thammasat University says that he does not believe the dispute will end in bloodshed as it did in October 1976. Here's Professor Chaiwat Sathanan.
There are several things that one could say that is quite different at present from the event of 1976. First of all, I think during that time there was a very weak government in place. If you remember, it was the Democrat government which just came in place. It's a coalition government. The present government is much stronger. Thai society, after all, has changed tremendously in the past few years, as you have noticed, and therefore, that kind of massacre at Thammasat University, I don't think is forthcoming in any sense of the term. It doesn't mean, however, that there is no risk about that, because what you have witnessed lately is also, a kind of emotionally charged discussion of the issue to a degree that maybe I think hatred has assumed the order of the day rather than reasoned engagement of the issue. I think that's part of the thing that we should worry about at the moment.
Where Article 112 is talk of the town. Now, with the top brass in the military coming out, with their daily quotes and all that, is that a certain factor that people should be keeping their eye on?
I would say that the general, the commander who came out and talked about it, I think he thinks that he's trying to defend, the institution. I think there is a need to understand the nature of the institution that we are facing. I think the most important thing that Thai society needs to understand is what does it mean to be loyal to the institution, and I think there's a lot to learn about it.
The University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce's survey shows that this year's Valentine's spending growth will be the lowest in 6 years. The survey undertaken by the Economic and Business Forecast Center of the University of Thai Chambers of Commerce, or the UTCC, shows this year's teenagers has placed the level of importance of Valentine's Day at medium. As the Valentine's spending, teenagers are expected to spend an average of 1,348 baht, or around $45 per person. Flowers, presents, and food still rank the highest for Valentine's gifts. The UTCC has forecast the total spending to be approaching 2.8 billion baht, which is 5.13% growth compared to last year. However, it is the lowest growth in 6 years due to economic problems. The survey also found that the respondents would like to give roses to Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra the most, then opposition party leader Aphisit Vechachiwa, and of course, Rak Pratet Thai party leader Chuwit Gamonwisit. While Thailand's weather is getting warmer every day, the Japanese city island of Hokkaido is celebrating the Sapporo Snow and Ice Festival. Attending the festivities is the 3-time champion ice sculpting team from Thailand, there once again to defend their title.
My country, they don't have the snow. I used by a styrofoam, make a model for small one, and then we have the plastic from a styrofoam.
And do you think you'll win this year?
We hope. Every year we come here, we hope we get a champion.
The International Snow Carving Competition is one of the highlights of the 6-day festival. With his team, Kuson Bunkop Songseum will this year try to defend the championship against 13 other entries from around the world, most of which are from countries with natural snow like Japan, Norway, and Sweden. Each group will face an identical block of snow, and only their imagination will hold them back. Northern Japan has been hit this year by its coldest spell, covering the island with deep snow. But fun, joy, and excitement await every snow lover, including the Thai team. The Thai Armed Forces are once again training in battlefields in the 2012 Cobra Gold. One of the focuses of this year's drill is to deal with life-saving strategies if natural disasters occur. Some 13,000 troops from 7 countries, namely the U.S., Singapore, Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, and Malaysia, are taking part in the 31st edition of the Cobra Gold Joint Military Training from now until February 17. General Eksakon Satjanit, Deputy Supreme Commander of the Thai Forces, and top brass from the participating countries presided over the opening event at Wing 1 Airfield in Nakhon Ratchasima Province. On top of creating unity in preserving peace in this region, this year's regional drill will also focus on how military personnel can assist victims of natural disasters. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Subhajong Klinsuwan. Sawasdee krap.